to go to our second question and hear your views on, to what extent purposeful growth in organisations is actually possible. Is it a fantasy or is it a reality? We asked that question first of all to one of our guests, Philip from Hattiers.
So purpose-led growth, by no means is it a fantasy, but the truth is reality is costly. The idea of having a purpose is beyond profit, is giving you two things to do. So if you're solely delivering to a shareholder and paying your taxes on time, that's one purpose. But if you're talking about a wider purpose, you now have another agenda, and that might be a B Corp standard, it might be to a fair trade standard, but it just gives you more to do, so there's more cost involved. So it's a harder thing to achieve, and your budgets you have to add in new lines to the budget which didn't exist before. But there are benefits as well, not beyond the actual purpose of the business. There are commercial benefits, but it's different to the status quo.
So a very grounded answer there from Philip. It sounds very real and tangible and embedded within the organisation. So Rowan, what's been your experience? What impact has purpose had in Tate and Lyle so far?
Look, I think, as I said, it's taken a number of years to really embed in the company, but it's become very much the heartbeat of the company. And I think we saw that really in the last year during COVID, because it was the one thing that everyone sort of centered around. To live our purpose, we need to do certain things. We need to look after our employees, keep them safe, keep them well, invest in communication with them when they were living at home or they had different remote working environments. We had to do lots of things, and it was all based around our purpose. We always said we were going to do that first. And so I think that for us, yes, I mean, it has made a big difference. Interesting what Philip was saying. It isn't easy. And it comes back to what I was kind of alluding to earlier, is purpose is a long-term project, stroke journey, whatever word you want to put on it. We live in a horribly short-termist world. I mean, we're a listed company, quarterly earnings, all those things. And you have to look at things over the longer term when you think about purpose, because you're going to get things wrong. I mean, we took 2 or 3 years to say embed purpose with doing these experiments that we talked about, which Graham helped us with. And I would say more of them failed than succeeded. Yeah, they weren't necessarily a success. It wasn't some easy up and down sort of, process where we just saw the graph go straight up. Actually, we had a lot of issues. We had people in our group who didn't believe in it. We had people in our group who were in parts of the company where their business they felt wasn't relevant to our purpose. So we had to find time to allow people to really find what it meant to them and how it could work within our culture, and give them the space and time to do that. And one of the dangers of purpose becoming a sort of governance requirement, which was on our heart sunk when I saw that, was that people are going to embed it very quickly because they have to tick a box, when actually purpose is something that takes time. Like anything in life, you need to sort of live with it a while, see what works and see what doesn't. But I think that there is a cost to it, there's no doubt about that, but there's also a benefit. And I just give one very quick example, which is last year during the middle of the COVID pandemic, there was obviously also a huge challenge in the US over racial inequality, particularly with the George Floyd murder and all the things that happened. You saw this huge outcry. And we put in place a lot of conversations or discussions within Tate and Lyle to talk about racial inequality and how some of our people felt that we maybe weren't doing what we should be doing. And I can tell you, having been in the company for 20 years, if we hadn't had a very strong sense of purpose, which allows people to feel safer, it allows them to be more open, it allows them to feel more transparent about their feelings. If we hadn't had that sense of purpose, we wouldn't have had anywhere near the open and honest conversations that we had about some of the challenges that we face about, being better, quite frankly, at inclusion and diversity in our US business particularly. And so I think it has many other benefits, not just recruitment, retention of employees, all those sort of things, but also it helps you deal with issues in a completely different way when you don't have that purpose.